So Caitlin Clark is in Miami. Yes, Caitlin Clark is in Miami right now with Aliyah Boston.
During a CBA lockout, Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston recently appeared in Miami. The WNBA as a whole is holding its breath, waiting for a deal, while Unrivaled is running and Angel Ree is playing. One picture, one place, and all of a sudden, everyone in the basketball community is discussing what it might signify. Please leave a remark below. Do you believe that Caitlin Clark's attendance at Unrivaled would genuinely affect the CBA negotiations? Or are people reading too much into this amusing coincidence? Before the rumors completely take over, let's be absolutely clear about what we do know in this situation.
She is probably just going to watch her friends play basketball. It is hilarious. It is hilarious, and who knows? Who knows? Like, a lot of people are saying, no, like, I actually don't think Caitlin Clark is ever going to play in Unrivaled. I just don't. Unless it goes 5v5. But her rocking up to Unrivaled, if she rocks up to a game, and by the way, Lexi Hull, this, if you guys don't know, Friday is going to be the most watched day of Unrivaled, because, yes, I get it, Paige isn't playing, but Aliyah Boston's playing. You've got Lexi Hull. Angel Reese is playing, and Caitlin Clark might be there. Caitlin Clark might be there. There is a possibility that Caitlin Clark will go and watch Unrivaled. I don't think she's going to pull a Sabrina and be on commentary or anything. But there's a possibility that Caitlin Clark decides that she wants to...
Caitlin Clark is currently in Miami, and she's there alongside Aliyah Boston. That much is verified. Beyond that, there's nothing official. No public announcement has been made, no formal press release has been issued, and no one from Clark's team has offered any comment about Unrivaled, contract talks, strategic maneuvering, or the sweeping storyline the internet has built from a single image of two individuals happening to be in the same city at the same time. Still, and this is where it becomes truly compelling, the timing is unusually precise, and the circumstances carry so much weight that brushing it off as simple coincidence takes a deliberate effort to ignore the bigger picture. When you factor in the CBA deadlock, the questions surrounding Unrivaled's ratings, the moratorium on team-related player activity, and the ongoing leverage battle shaping the negotiations, the entire backdrop suggests that Clark's presence in Miami right now feels like something far more calculated than an ordinary getaway.
She's been in Indiana the entire time. Pretty much in Indiana the entire time. And Unrivaled, obviously, when it comes to their ratings, they haven't been good. But, like, I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark, if it's known that Caitlin Clark is going to be there, she doesn't even have to play. If it becomes a thing where Caitlin Clark is going to be there, and Angel Reese is playing as well, at the end of the day, we're now at the stage where this is going to be the most viewed 5v5, or this is going to be the most viewed.
Let's rewind and lay out the entire picture, because without the surrounding details, none of this makes proper sense. The WNBA and the Players Union are locked in what has become one of the most heated labor clashes the league has ever faced. The union has enforced a complete freeze on team-related involvement. Players are barred from training at team facilities, prohibited from speaking with coaches, and restricted from participating in any official team activities whatsoever. At the same time, they are effectively putting the 2026 season on pause over their CBA demands, while publicly accusing ownership of failing to bargain in good faith. That argument, however, began to unravel once specifics of the owner's proposal surfaced, and the numbers revealed an offer that was far from trivial. According to those leaked details, the proposal would allocate more than 70% of net revenue to the players. Average salaries would rise to $530,000, with maximum contracts immediately climbing toward $1.3 million and potentially reaching $2.4 million by 2031. The package also included charter travel, expanded benefits, and legitimate revenue sharing directly connected to league growth. This was not a token figure or a cosmetic gesture packaged as progress. It was a serious proposal that warranted structured negotiations, not protest props stationed outside the NBA store.
Caitlin Clark in attendance. This is like, and then suddenly if Unrivaled randomly picks up, let's just say Unrivaled, with all of that being said, they were able to get 400,000 viewers, which is a record for Unrivaled. Nothing crazy, like 20% of what Caitlin would pull in an NBA game, half of what Angel Reese would pull in a big WNBA game. But like, even if you just go and do that, and you have any sort of capability of making this a big deal, and you can get those numbers from just Caitlin being in attendance and Angel Reese playing, then all of a sudden it's like...
And yet this is where things stand. A moratorium enforced, a season hanging in the balance, talks at a standstill, and Caitlin Clark, the most valuable commercial figure in women's basketball, appears in Miami. This is the same player whose drawing power is largely responsible for making those massive salary projections even realistic. She's photographed with Aliyah Boston during the Unrivaled season, on a week when the schedule also features Angel Reese. Take a second and process how all of that intersects. For clarity, Unrivaled is the 3-on-3 off-season league co-founded by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, two central voices in the WNBA Players Association negotiations. Coincidentally, they are also the same individuals who missed a pivotal in-person meeting with league owners in New York, citing travel complications out of Miami. The league has been active and has certainly sparked discussion, but if we're being fair, the television numbers have fallen short of expectations. Viewership has struggled to gain real traction despite sincere efforts to establish credibility. Then Clark is suddenly in the very city where Unrivaled games are being held, and instantly the dialogue around its ratings shifts. Because the truth is simple, when Caitlin Clark is physically present at a sporting event, the scale of media attention and audience interest surrounding that event changes dramatically. It completely reshapes the atmosphere. She doesn't need to step onto the floor, wear a jersey, or make any public comments. The mere confirmation, or even credible speculation, that Caitlin Clark is inside the arena watching is enough to send viewership soaring in a way no other player in women's basketball can replicate. That's not hype. It's a consistent trend observed over the past 2 years, as television ratings and ticket sales repeatedly spike whenever her name is connected to an event. If Unrivaled were to release footage verifying that Clark attended a matchup featuring Angel Reese, especially with Reese back in action, which on its own boosts interest, it could realistically become the most watched day in the league's short history. Not because Clark competed, not because she delivered a quote, simply because she was present. The broadcast cameras captured her in the stands, and social media amplified it from there. One commentator even suggested that Unrivaled should think about compensating Clark just to attend as a spectator, structuring an entire promotional push around her appearance, branding it as a reunion, a crossover moment, or a major return. Make her attendance the central storyline and allow everything else to orbit around it. After all, for 100,000 viewers, which would set an Unrivaled record, amounts to roughly 20% of the audience Clark typically attracts for a WNBA broadcast, and only about half of what Angel Reese can generate in a marquee league matchup. Even so, for Unrivaled at this stage, pulling in 400,000 viewers simply because Clark is sitting courtside would make a loud statement about how high the league's potential ceiling could be, and that ceiling carries serious weight in the middle of CBA negotiations. WNBA owners have approached these talks knowing that Unrivaled's ratings have been underwhelming, which naturally weakens the player's leverage when pointing to it as an alternative. If the league cannot consistently attract strong viewership, the idea of taking their talents there loses bargaining power, and ownership can reasonably view the threat as limited. But if Clark were to attend a game and the numbers instantly jump to record territory purely because she is in the building, not playing, not signed, not formally connected, that would shift the entire calculation. It would signal that Unrivaled's untapped upside is tied less to its current format and more to which stars are associated with it. And the player most capable of unlocking that upside happens to be the one currently seen in Miami observing events unfold. Now, is it realistic to expect Caitlin Clark to actually compete in Unrivaled? Under the present circumstances, probably not. The structure of Unrivaled is built around 3-on-3 play, which is not the style of basketball Clark has constructed her professional brand on. She thrives in the traditional 5-on-5 game, where her deep shooting range, elite vision, floor spacing, and command of the pick and roll are maximized across a full court. That environment is precisely what elevated her into the most influential figure in women's sports. 3-on-3 basketball operates differently, and it is not the platform that fueled her rise. There is, however, a hypothetical path where Unrivaled shifts into a 5-on-5 model. If that change were to occur, any discussion about Clark potentially joining would instantly carry more legitimacy than it does now. A 5-on-5 version of Unrivaled featuring Clark would represent an entirely new commercial product, one capable of altering several major conversations at once. As of now, though, no such transition has taken place, nor is there a confirmed timetable for it. What does exist in the present is the reality that Clark's appearance in Miami contributes to a broader moment where several pressure points are colliding simultaneously. The moratorium, the stalled CBA talks, the ongoing ratings narrative surrounding Unrivaled, and the larger leverage debate. Adding another layer to this dynamic is the fact that Clark is not officially part of the Players Association, a significant detail given that she still stands as the single most impactful variable in the entire equation. The difficult truth, whether publicly acknowledged or not, is that much of the bargaining power currently at the table is rooted in the influence Caitlin Clark brings to the league. The financial surge being used to justify these aggressive salary proposals can be traced directly to Clark's arrival and the rapid shift in the league's commercial trajectory over the past 2 seasons. Television agreements strengthened because of her draw. Attendance milestones were shattered because of her presence. Merchandise revenue spiked because her name was attached to it. The ownership group is in position to extend the kind of offer currently on the table largely because Clark elevated the economic profile of the league, and yet she is not seated in the negotiation room. She is not part of the union. For the most part, she has remained in Indiana, observing developments quietly from a distance, and now she surfaces in Miami at the center of this storm, prompting understandable speculation about what it signals. The idea that this is some calculated chess move is compelling because it fits a dramatic narrative. Clark appearing in proximity to Unrivaled while negotiations hang in the balance sends a message, intentional or not, that her presence carries weight across multiple fronts. Even if she never walks into an Unrivaled arena, simply being in the same city fuels discussion that indirectly strengthens the player's leverage storyline. It serves as a reminder to owners, media outlets, and fans alike that the most commercially valuable figure in women's basketball occupies a space of uncertainty regarding her next steps, and that ambiguity alone can function as leverage. At the same time, a more grounded explanation deserves consideration. This could genuinely be incidental. Clark has close relationships around the league, including Aliyah Boston, her Indiana Fever teammate and trusted friend. Miami is a common destination during breaks in the schedule. The overlap in timing may be coincidence, or at least far less strategic than the broader narrative implies. Clark has made it clear repeatedly that she expects a CBA agreement to be reached. She has not publicly indicated any intention to pursue alternatives outside the WNBA. Her appearance as an NBC analyst reflected the behavior of someone fully committed to continuing her professional career in the near term. The chess move narrative is being constructed from a single photograph, and that fact deserves recognition. What cannot be overlooked, however, is the larger truth the narrative exposes. A single image of Clark in Miami sparks widespread discussion. The instant speculation about Unrivaled, CBA leverage, and the broader implications for women's basketball underscores the unique position she holds in the sport. No other player, not A.J. Wilson, not Breanna Stewart, not Nafisa Collier, not Angel Reese, nor any of the veteran labor leaders, could provoke this level of reaction from a travel snapshot. An image of any of them in Miami would generate typical social media engagement, whereas a photo of Clark draws legitimate sports news coverage and detailed CBA analysis. That contrast between Clark's commercial impact and that of any other player encapsulates the full story. It's the reason the salary proposals are so substantial. It's the reason Unrivaled could set a ratings record simply from her presence in the stands. It's the reason ownership's bargaining stance is influenced by her health, and ongoing engagement with the league. It's the reason the Players Association holds any leverage at all. And yet here, she is in Miami, likely doing nothing overtly strategic, just spending time with a teammate, maybe catching a game, possibly never even stepping near an unrivaled event. The fact that the entire sports world is dissecting the significance of her whereabouts demonstrates precisely who controls the narrative. And it isn't the veterans who missed the New York meeting. One photo, one city, and the basketball world spends a day analyzing the implications. That is Caitlin Clark's reality in 2026. She doesn't need to act, and the conversation follows her everywhere. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe to stay updated. See you next time.